This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Going to answer a couple questions here. Going to try to just go through 2 questions at a time. Otherwise, these videos get to be very long. So I'll try to keep it short and sweet best I can. So this guy asked a question about raw versus geared. A guy named Mike. Or he called me Mike. His name is Kellen. And he has a question about raw lifting versus geared lifting. He's an older lifter who lifts raw currently, and he's wondering if he should kind of migrate into wearing some sort of powerlifting gear. I would suggest that all raw lifters start to utilize some powerlifting gear from time to time, maybe for a couple of weeks, or maybe just like once a month or so as a form of overload. The key to that would be to get something that's mild, like power pants from Inzer, something that's kind of stretchy. Now you got to realize if you're a raw lifter and you're a newer lifter, you're new to the sport, that in order for this gear to work, it's going to have to be pretty tight. So it'll be fairly tight and fairly uncomfortable. If you are going to buy a pair of briefs, you might want to wear some Under Armour spandex underneath it, so it's not pinching your skin so much. That may sound kind of weak and kind of lame, but trust me, when it starts to pull on your skin and pull on the hair of your legs and everything like that, shit hurts. So I would suggest that you look into getting something that's pretty mild for your first suit or brief. A squat suit is superior to a pair of briefs because it could be utilized in a lot of different ways. You know, you can squat with the straps down, you can squat with the straps up, and you can also sumo and conventional deadlift with the suit depending on how it fits you. So it gives you a lot more options than just a pair of briefs. And again, I would suggest Inzer on that, just because they make stretchier gear than most of the other companies, and that's going to be a good place for you to start. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. That'll also help the raw lifter stay healthy, whether you're doing CrossFit or you're just a raw power lifter, or whatever your goals are, Olympic lifter or whatever. It's going to help keep your hips and groin healthy so you can still train hard and train heavy without getting all banged up and all grizzled. As far as conditioning goes, we got a question about conditioning, which is great because a lot of people just think that this sport is about getting as fat as possible and just letting it all hang out and being unhealthy and being gross. Now, obviously super heavies are strong. The super heavyweight boys can be very strong. The guys that get themselves up to around 400 pounds and stuff like that can be very strong. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're out of shape. Donnie Thompson was over 400 pounds or 390 pounds or whatever he was, and the guy could do some conditioning drills that would leave most 160-pound guys in the dust. I saw Donnie when he was out here squat 500 pounds with some chains on the side of the bar for sets of 3, and in between that do kettlebell snatches. How many people can do that back and forth for 10 sets? Not a lot. So that's some pretty amazing strength, obviously, but also some pretty damn good conditioning. So, you know, in terms of your question, you're asking what kind of conditioning can you do? How much of it can you do without getting the negative effects? Well, it's a great question that you bring up, because it is kind of puts you in kind of a pickle. You know, puts you in kind of a weird situation where you're almost mixing goals. Everybody wants to be strong, but a lot of people want to stay strong and lean, or lean out as they get stronger, and the two things are very difficult to do at the same time. However, you have a couple of options, a couple of great options. One option is to simply add in supersets, such as Donnie Thompson was doing. A lot of lifters utilize that. You can utilize it for all your assistance movements. When you're done with your main movement, you can go berserk on a couple different supersets. That's going to keep the heart rate up. That's going to help you burn more calories and stuff like that. You also have the sled. You have the prowler. You can do what people have referred to in the past as a finisher. At the end of your workout, you can just exhaust the body by doing sprints with the prowler, or walking with pretty good weight on the sled for 30 minutes, that kind of stuff. is going to be superior to regular cardio. Also, if you look in this issue of Power Magazine, www.thepowermagazine.com, there's an article by Kiefer John about cardio for powerlifters. That's actually in the upcoming issue of Power with Dave Hoff on the cover. And he goes on to explain the way that you can do interval training. So you don't have the patience to get the magazine, do a little bit of research on some interval training. I believe T-Nation, if that's what they still call their website, has some great information on some interval training type stuff. But basically all you're doing is working out for 4 to 6 minutes, 4 to 8 minutes if you include the warm-up, and it's just balls out for 30 seconds with like a minute rest or 30 seconds rest, something in that neighborhood. And you're just going to do it on, like a recumbent bike or stationary bike of some sort. When I first started to lose weight, when I weighed 330 pounds, got myself down to about 280, 290, the first thing I did was I started doing a little bit of cardio. I did cardio in the morning for about 15 minutes, usually on an empty-ish stomach, and I did that about 3 times a week. The pace at which I did it was not very high. It wasn't interval training. It wasn't high intensity. It was fairly low intensity just because it was such a new stimulus to me that it still worked. You guys got to like this kind of like double chin blocker right here. Look at that. No double chin, double chin. No double chin, double chin. No carbs, carbs. All right, well, that's it. That's all the tips I got for today. That's it from supertraining.tv. Later.